everybody, I'm Luna. Welcome back to Luna ơi! Today I'll be sharing news reports from all around the world coming to us from the International magazine. The International magazine is an anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, and anti-fascist magazine where you can read informative articles from a true communist perspective, written by hundreds of leftists from all over the world. First, let's take a look at a report about elections in Chile, where leftists and indigenous people are taking control of their own destiny.
Gabriel Boric wins in Chile. After an immense battle, Chile has had an election result not witnessed since 1990. This election was a direct battle between Gabriel Boric and Antonio Cast, between the left and the right. The communists in Chile have been gaining power as the last few elections have proven. Last year, in the capital city of Santiago, we saw the election of the first communist mayor since 1990 with the seating of Iracy Hassler, who also happens to be the first female mayor of Santiago. Since then, Chilean communists have been preparing for the presidential battle. Over the past few years, Chile has been witnessing a huge popular leftist upsurge. Movements by the people against the right-wing government have been reshaping the history of the country. The communists have been the vanguard in these movements. They've been organizing people to stand against Piñera's neoliberal and autocratic rule. This popular movement has demanded major changes to the constitution, which was made under fascist dictator Augusto Pinochet's government. This movement has also been bursting in rage against the neoliberal policies of the current Chilean government. Chile was, in many ways, the birthplace of neoliberalism, a murderous ideology which was concocted in a conspiracy to kill Salvador Allende, the first democratically elected socialist president in Chilean history, and saw the rise of the dictator Pinochet, who colluded deeply with the USA and instituted neoliberal policies in coordination with the so-called Chicago Boys, who were ideologically trained and programmed by none other than USA capitalist economist and ideologist Milton Friedman. Together, fascist and neoliberal forces killed and disappeared countless Chilean communists and implemented policies which devastated the entire country for decades. These recent victories for the left could perhaps be viewed as a sort of sweet revenge for Chilean communists against fascist forces in Chile. In this election, the communists in Chile supported the young Gabriel Boric, who was once a radical student leader. Boric ran against extremely far-right opponents in this election. Boric's primary opponent was Antonio Cast, whose father was literally a member of the Nazi Party in Germany during World War II. Cast himself is also an extremely far right-wing politician and has nurtured a personal friendship with both Donald Trump and Jair Bolsonaro, the current president of Brazil. A win for Cast would have likely led to devastation for the Chilean left and a major blow to the spirit of the people. Thankfully, this has been avoided. After a huge and intense battle, Boric turned out to be the youngest president elected in Chilean history. Chile is now back in a position where it can once again, hopefully, begin building towards the socialist path.
As socialists in Chile are writing a new chapter of history, let's turn our attention now to a country which is 5,200 miles away, the USA. There, Amazon workers are coming together to fight for their rights.
It is no secret that pandemic has exacerbated inequality. As the rich stuffed their coffers, the working class was scrambling to make ends meet. Worst of all, they had to work through the pandemic, discarding any concerns about their safety. The pandemic got us all, but some had it worse than others. According to Forbes, throughout the pandemic, Jeff Bezos, Amazon's founder and CEO, has reaped enormous benefits. Through the pandemic, Bezos has become the world's wealthiest individual with a net worth that has nearly doubled to over $200 billion. Amazon's revenues grew 40% year over year in the second quarter of 2020. Sales of online grocery deliveries have increased over the previous year, according to the business, so the workers must have reaped benefits of their hard work as well, right? Had this happened, trickle-down economics would actually have succeeded, but such is not the case. The company had asked employees to take unpaid time to undergo COVID screenings before clocking into work, and was rightfully sued. According to the lawsuit, the corporation has forced employees to undergo health exams before clocking in at warehouses since March 2020. According to the lawsuit, employees were frequently required to arrive early and wait in large lines to answer health screening questions and have their temperatures taken. According to the complaint, the entire procedure might take anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes. Even before the epidemic, Amazon compelled warehouse employees to work off the clock for a few minutes each day, according to the complaint. Additionally, Amazon was fined $500,000 for concealing the number of COVID-19 cases at its California offices from its workers. Employers must notify workers who may have been exposed to COVID-19 within 1 day and must submit COVID-19 case numbers to local health agencies within 48 hours if they fit the definition of a COVID-19 outbreak, according to legislation. Moreover, deaths in warehouses have become increasingly common. Billy Foister, a 48-year-old Amazon warehouse worker, died of a heart attack at work in September 2019. An Amazon human resources official informed his brother at the hospital that Billy had been lying on the floor for 20 minutes before obtaining care from Amazon's internal safety responders, according to his brother. Concerns over working conditions have been raised after a second worker died at an Amazon warehouse in Poland in October this year. The deaths have been connected by the wife of one of the deceased, as well as co-workers in employee organizations, to severe workloads and supervisors' unwillingness to respond to concerns. As a result, Amazon, which employs 23,000 workers in Poland directly and another 28,000 indirectly, conducted legally mandated internal investigations and determined that both occurrences were caused by medical concerns. According to the business, proper protocols were followed at the scene and 200 individuals skilled in first aid were on hand. Such a sorry state of affairs. To make matters worse, Amazon has been unrolling anti-worker policies. The United Food and Commercial Workers International Union, which represents 1.3 million workers in grocery, meatpacking, and other frontline sectors, has criticized Amazon's decision to expand its new Amazon Fresh supermarket chain and Amazon Go cashierless stores at a rapid pace. These workers are no Luddites. They are genuinely concerned about losing their livelihood. What do the workers want? Amazon workers have nothing to lose but their chains. Their constant efforts to unionize, to protest against the abysmal working conditions, have constantly been thwarted. Amazon has always been actively trying to dissuade employees from organizing unions, said Marcus Courtney, a longtime labor advocate who attempted to unionize call center workers at Amazon in the early 2000s. That was true 20 years ago, and it's true today. Amazon controls everything from bathroom breaks to communication with other employees, Courtney said. If a union comes in, they're going to lose some of that control, and that's ultimately what they fear the most. Amazon advertised a position for 2 intelligence analysts who would watch labor organizing threats and other sensitive areas and submit their findings to internal stakeholders up to and including senior leadership, according to CNBC. This is how Bezos succeeds. Come Black Friday, the workers are expected to take charge of their paths. The day of the shopping sales is one of Amazon's busiest of the year. A day of action is being organized by Make Amazon Pay, an international coalition of labor, equality, and environmental organizations. The campaign is calling on Amazon to make changes to its company, such as better pay, the elimination of employee surveillance, and union participation. In Germany, for example, the Verdi union has called for a strike at major shipping centers. In France, the CGT, a prominent labor union, is also asking on workers to stop working. The Make Amazon Pay Alliance has gathered over 50 organizations from around the world to endorse a list of shared expectations.
Good luck and solidarity to all brave Amazon workers who are fighting to unionize. And as they are fighting for their future, thousands of leftists in Berlin, Germany reflected on the past at the annual Luxemburg Liebknecht demonstration, which was held on January 9th to commemorate the deaths of Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht and their short yet important life struggles against the rise of fascism in Germany in the early 20th century. Let's take a look.
The annual demonstration of Luxemburg Liebknecht in Berlin unified the leftists in Germany. Leftists from all corners of the world living in Germany came to the demonstration and actively participated. They remembered Rosa and her struggle, which failed on paper but impacted in a huge manner. But Rosa was born and brought up and killed in Germany. You simply cannot limit her only to the territories and the borders of Germany. Even today, millions of cadres are inspired by her name and her work. Who was Rosa? Just a communist? Or just a feminist? It's impossible to limit her within these terms. She was beyond her time, a revolutionary German communist who always vouched for the voices of women. We should consider Rosa a different kind of communist who tried to rewrite the history of Germany. However, she unfortunately failed. The story took a fatal turn. Rosa was murdered. Germany took the Nazi path a short while later. However, one should not forget her name and struggle. 6 days ago, thousands of people marched in the streets of Berlin to commemorate the death anniversary of Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht. Rosa and Karl took the initiative to form the German Communist Party. The German communists took active part in the commemorative program to remember Rosa and Karl. Many other groups also had an active role in the rallies. We saw Palestinian activists chanting the names of Rosa and Karl. Rosa was murdered by counter-revolutionary Social Democratic Party workers in 1919. The Social Democrats are still enjoying a decent space not only in Germany but also in many other corners of the world. In the name of Rosa Luxemburg, the vanguards of the people must be willing to fight them. Long live Rosa Luxemburg. Long live Karl Liebknecht.
I would like to thank the International Magazine for bringing these great stories and so many more to communists and leftists all over the world. If you want more articles and news like this, a subscription only costs $2.5 a month or $25 a year, so please consider subscribing to the International Magazine. And if you find this video interesting, please subscribe to my channel and maybe consider becoming my supporter on Patreon, or better yet, Camaraderie, a worker-owned alternative to Patreon. Check them out at camaraderie.co. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!